Just a short ferry ride away from downtown Seattle lies a very special place indeed. A place we call home. In 2005, Bainbridge Island was ranked as the second best place to live by CNN Money magazine, though this came as no great surprise to the inhabitants of this jewel in Puget Sound. It's doubtful there could be a better place to raise a family in the great Pacific Northwest. Opened in 1990, the Hazel Creek Montessori School has been helping the children of Bainbridge Island grow and develop their social and academic skills for almost 20 years through a curriculum based upon the theories of child development originated by the Italian educator Maria Montessori over 100 years ago. The Montessori educational method is characterized by an emphasis on self-directed activity on the part of the child and clinical observation on the part of the teacher or guide.
The Montessori experience allows a child to be independent. They are self-motivated, they choose their own activities, they are self-guided. It allows for the child to choose for themselves what it is they want to work on.
We mix groups where they're 3 to 5 years old, so the 4 and 5-year-olds help the 3-year-olds, and kind of vice versa. They can accomplish something by helping one another instead of always having the teacher over them. Now we're in the phase of teaching sign language.
She comes home every day with 3 new ones, at least 3. She knows probably 50 signs at least.
The Montessori philosophy is built upon the idea that children develop and think differently from adults, and that they are not merely adults in small bodies. Montessori is a highly hands-on approach to learning. Here at Hazel Creek, this approach is taken one step further than at most schools, in part due to the advantageous location of the school grounds, whose close proximity to the Grand Forest of Bainbridge and Meigs wetlands dramatically extends the open-air classroom concept. It is this very outdoors concept that lies at the heart of the Hazel Creek philosophy and is the seed that inspired Janice and Ole Peterson to build the school. When looking at schools for their children, they found nowhere that met their expectations for a complete, well-rounded learning experience.
I came from a family of teachers. My father was a teacher, all of my sisters are teachers, and my grandmother taught in one-room schoolhouses. As I toured other Montessori schools and observed the classrooms, I really felt that the children didn't have the availability of an outdoor educational program. When we found this piece of property on Bainbridge in 1989, we fell in love with the layout of the land. We started to clear the trees and we were milling the wood ourselves, and my husband and I built the original schoolhouse with just our 4 children.
Child advocate Richard Louv observes that direct exposure to nature is essential for healthy childhood development and for the physical and emotional health of children and adults.
So many children are experiencing a nature deficit disorder, and we were really at the forefront of a new kind of school reform when we started Hazel Creek. What we're trying to do by providing this type of experience is allowing the child to be in nature, be in a safe environment, and yet not live in fear.
Kids love to experience things hands-on and get their hands dirty and dig in the dirt and play with the worms and play with the bugs, and that is the closest to the natural learning environment that we can get, hands-on experiential learning through directly touching.
They've got woods here, they've got 9 acres of woods, they go hiking in the woods, they come home and their fingernails are dirty, and I like that.
Well, we really want to teach children life cycles, and having gardens available to them, they're able to start from the ground up.
They get a connection to nature that's really been lost in a lot of education nowadays. Taking care of something else is really important for kids, to be able to plant a seed and nurture it and watch it grow. It teaches them patience. It teaches them the value of living things. It teaches them where their food comes from, which is really important in this society nowadays.
I think kids build a real appreciation for nature, and once they're given that opportunity to see the cycle of life, they have an understanding and they start to own the knowledge deep within.
And what attracted me the most was just the combination of the Montessori academics with the outdoor environment, and that horseback riding was integrated, and just I knew they would go for hikes and be outside as much as possible.
I think our kids like hiking the best. They like to go out and explore the woods, and we really have a great opportunity to do that here with our 2 trails, and we're building new nature trails all the time.
What I mostly remember is just going outside, going along the trails, riding the horses, doing all the fun little odds of things, nothing like a normal, typical daycare.
This place is all outside. If it's a nice day, you go outside and you learn things about what's out there. For really little kids, I don't think that they should be kept inside, especially in Washington. If there's something nice that you can learn outside, then you might as well.
There is one activity that above all else leaves the biggest impression on the children who attend Hazel Creek, and that's horseback riding.
What we're finding at Hazel Creek is when we put these young children on a horse, the motion of riding emulates walking. So all of the systems of the child are being used.
With the horse program here, I definitely got hooked on horses when I was at 3, and I've been riding ever since.
I learned how to ride horses when I was here, and then I did that for 12 years after I learned it here. And when I was tiny, like 4 years old, they even put me on Clydesdales.
I actually have my own business. It's called Brittany's Inspirations, that I started when I was here at 8 years old to pay for my first horse. Those few minutes extra of horse time that we could just get in, we would do anything for those moments.
Just the joy of kids riding horses is amazing. Kids who ordinarily wouldn't want to do chores are asking me if they can come help me feed the horses and wash the horses. They really take the whole responsibility on, and that's the biggest change, that they realize that there's something that they need to take care of. The biggest part to me is that they lose a fear that's built up, and horses are such a big animal and they're such small children that this fear in this wall really gets broken down. And putting them on a horse and having them ride gains them motor skills, they get balance. We've got kids that can barely talk and they're on the horse and they're kissing to her to make them go, and they get so much joy, and the benefits are just enormous.
The early childhood educational experience is one of the most critical periods in a child's life.
This premise is one of the guiding principles of the Montessori educational program. Children learn through discovery, so each classroom at Hazel Creek is equipped with specifically designed educational tools and associated didactic materials that allows children the freedom to learn to instinctively correct their own mistakes instead of relying on a teacher to give them the correct answer.
The Montessori philosophy teaches the concepts of math and not just the memorization of multiplication tables and things like that. So we can tell now in 4th grade that she actually understands the concepts.
Through the years, the arts have always had a special place at Hazel Creek.
And we had plays, and striving to be the lead person in the play. Like, I wish I could go in front of people and totally talk like I used to then.
The imagination makes the world go round. We just can't not stop imagining things. I have them do self-portraits every 6 months or so, like in the beginning of the year and the end of the year. So it's kind of fun to see how they visualize themselves. But they love to draw their parents, their home life. I tried to say, well, now, how many windows do you have? Just make them think a little bit more of how the structure of their house is.
Using the Monart method of art, paintings are created using a foundation of lines, circles, and angles.
It just breaks down drawing so kids feel successful. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't judge what they do. We just try to give them slow direction, and then this picture slowly but surely comes alive. As they get older, we have the stage of realism, and they really want to draw everything that they see.
Everything could be made into an art project when we were here, which was wonderful. Like, you would learn about colors, numbers, things to eat, things not to eat, that kind of thing, and you could draw diagrams, you could paint pictures about it, you could do anything.
Every occasion possible is used to encourage self-expression, though there are a few special days each year that really bring out the spirit of Hazel Creek.
And you, grab hands. St. Jan has always integrated drama as well, performing, dancing.
Surprisingly enough, the boys like to dance.
Living on an island brings responsibilities that mainland families are not so aware of.
It's wonderful to have kids that can swim, and
You want kids to have the confidence to be around the water. The younger they are, the easier it is because they really don't have that fear built up in them yet. I like to get them life jacket safe so they feel confident in the water and they're having a good time. And then after that we build into lessons. We learn kicks and bubbles and jumping in and learn the actual strokes.
Friends and the social skills learned through friendship cannot be taught, only nurtured in an environment such as Hazel Creek, where classes are mixed age and gender and where bonds formed can last a lifetime.
I really learned how to work with people, like the camaraderie that we had here. We all had intense friendships.
The human interaction that you learn when you come to Hazel Creek, like especially with those friends, you know, I still keep in contact with them, and we all communicate on the same level, and I think a lot of that is just how we were raised here with Janice.
The core team is so committed, and these girls are loved here. You know, the children are loved here. They really are genuinely loved here. Everyone cares, not just about their education, but just their all-around well-being.
When I came here, this is probably the first place I didn't cry for the first week.
Yes, pretty much everything that I learned here carried me through the next 10 years of my life.
We fell in love with Hazel Creek immediately, and I say this to Janice all the time, and I will say this forever. I thought we had found paradise.
I think going to Hazel Creek really let all of us, you know, open our minds up to expressing ourselves in any way that we could.
As they leave Hazel Creek, our hope is that they will have had a sense of joy in the process of learning, but that they'll also have a sense of real accomplishment at a very young age so that they can carry on and have a zeal for life.